Top one, ladies. My name is Shaz, and welcome to the team. What if him Deku was Wind Destroyer? So this version of Zuko has so much power. Plus, reason why I gave him that name is because through the most of the what if, everyone calls him Wind Destroyer. Wind Destroyer. Where, yeah. Yeah, so until until they actually know who they are. So let's jump right into the what if. So and yes, I am going to add Zumi into this what if. My original plan was to have this as an intro, but I did that with some other what if. So yeah, so let's begin. Zuko and Zumi been born, and they had friends, and the the Ochako loved Zuko. That's why they became friends, or they became more than friends. Type of, yeah. And then Todoroki became their friend, and Bakugo. So, yeah. So then the time skip to age of 4, and yeah. And before we move on, sorry for if I'm breathing in these videos because of a lot of my own body is being weird. So, yeah. So now let's continue. So, Zuko and Zumi are so hyped up, about going to the quirk doctor to see if they have quirks. The quirk doctor tells Zumi that she has quirk and she can become a hero, but her brother doesn't have a quirk, as he's all sad. And so, but Zuko actually has a actual power, because in this whatever universe, there's these tier lists, or there's a tier list of people that are quirkless, quirked, and powers. The quirkless are poor people. That has no value. Quirks are basically are minimal jobs or minimal pay of $1,000 then. But then there's powers. And powers are more they're higher ups. like, they are everything. So, like, basically, he are whatever they want. Or, so, like, basically, they're a bazillionaires. Or they could own planets if. But there's only. So far, no one is that much until Zuko came along. So everybody he hates him. So like after the Quirk Doctors, everybody. So his girlfriend dumps him to go for like Bakugo, and Zumi hates him because he's quirkless. Inko, who doesn't like him, because and every negative emotion, because he realized, because after he was abandoned, and then all of the negativity, like basically, he realized when he was at age of 5, he realized the power, or his powers did activate. And so, all of his powers, like, not just one power, every power activated at the same time, causing him to go crazy. Like, evolving his own body into something that's more dangerous than anything. And so when he got hired by Overhaul as a he's similar to what Ares was, or Zuko was similar to Ares, but instead of like getting experimented on and or getting operated on, Zuko's powers, when he created so much, or actually, he was born with I'll list all the powers that he has. He has infinity, zero, metaverse, evolution, and other powers. So that makes him the most overpowered character. And plus, when his powers activated, in order to keep his humanity, he created a mask that was specially designed to keep him stable from until So Overhaul and Zuko hit it off great. And Zuko knows that with all that power, he feels like he's gonna die from getting basically getting torn apart every day. And he's just like in that same pose. So Overhaul looks at Zuko, and he could see why Zuko, or he actually goes by the name Wind Destroyer. So, yeah. Imagine him with a mask that's specially designed. As he has a hoodie and basically he doesn't have a cape, so no capes. So, yeah. So then yeah. So then, so a time skip to 15. And Zuko has been busy during that time skip. Every time the villains that were trying to go for all for one ended up automatically getting killed by Zuko. Or should I say, a wind destroyer. Yeah, because when he says it's time for you guys to die. Yeah. So he gains his so actually he gains overhauls his trust, and one task that he does is to look over Ares. Like basically, yeah. But when he first met Ares, he could see that she's suffering from Overhaul's experiments. So when after Overhaul's done with her, like basically puts her back together and all that stuff, Zuko takes her back to her room. As he did tell her that no need to fear. I'm always going to be here for you. Or instead of saying I, will always be here for you. As after he left, Ares could sense, and she could sense Zuko, who's wasn't talking about. Sorry, Zuko wasn't talking about the villain's base. What I mean by that is basically her, or he was talking about himself as we will care about you. As he's, but she didn't hear his own voice. He could hear multiple voices coming from the same person. Because as he sits out in the front of her door, relaxing, as he's kind heart, as he sometimes, one of his voices in his head says, let's get the overhaul wafer. Yeah. Because he's a mad. And so then the time skip to All Might versus All for One. So Ares and Zuko, or should I say Ares and Wind Destroyer, her during the time skip has really gone closer. Sometimes she actually has dreams about seeing his actual or hearing his actual voice. As she's terrified of seeing how many personalities are inside his own head. Until one day when she was going to the experiment area, she asked him, "You're going through," or as he says, yeah. And as he cares about her, nothing changes between me. As he knows that the day will come, as he says, or in his own head, the day will come. I'm finding from as Aries could sense that Zuko is slowly dying from his own powers. As she doesn't want to lose her friend, her best friend, that she met when when he was 5 years old and her was, yeah. Because he actually cares about her. So, yeah. So then the time skipped to All Might versus All for One. So, All for One was about to shoot a laser, and All Might, body blocks tries, or uses protects the citizen that was about to, but something happened in a blink of an eye. He turns around. When they turn around, they don't see All for One standing there. Not in, his usual. When they turn around, they saw was the legs of All for One. So basically, from a waist up on All for One was completely gone, vanished out of thin air. As All for One's legs just collapsed, blood spewing everywhere. Yeah. As everybody's making thoughts about oh, the Zuko, or it's probably that wind destroyer. He destroyed. As everybody's trying to figure out why, including the detective, is trying to figure out why the villains or my wind saved all my from dying. Wind Destroyer. As they're trying to figure it out. Oh, but they have no luck with dealing with him at the moment. So yeah, so then the time skip to All Mightverse, or so all for one. I meant overhaul. So then Heroes break in, and Ares got held by Zuko, and she tells him that, or actually Overhaul commands Zuko to like kill Muriel. So, or actually Overhaul used Wind Destroyer. As Zuko comes in and as he did tell Ares who he really was, as so Muriel was about to be meeting his end. Where is it? Where is that picture? There's a picture of him. So, here. Muriel and yeah, this guy was about to get killed by a Wind Destroyer. But then, out of nowhere, Ares finally says, as with like her face, she had courage because, as she says, Zuko, please stop. As Zuko, as he stops his attack, and as he like basically he respawns and overhauls. Like, what are you doing? Kill him! And overhaul. Oh. As Muriel is shocked. Oh, sorry. Give me a minute. When he as he's trying to figure out why he could have ended him. But then he pieced it together. So the Wind Destroyer is his villain name. And his secret identity is Zuko Midoriya. But why does he have multiple voices? Well, as he says, let's see what you really are, Zuko. As he grabs the mask, yanks it off, as Zuko's power As Overhaul is like, you fool. You know what you'd have done? The Zuko who wasn't born doesn't need a quirk. You know why? He was born with so much power that even it makes all of every power or look like child's play. Every quirk. As he's about to kill, like he was about to kill as his as the entire city starts to move, as Dragon Lady is like, what's going on? As raised her head's like, theme. As everybody's like, as building starts to transform into monsters. And like, everything. As Zuko's trying to, like, as he's having so many, like, powers going through him right now, that even, like, it's changing the entire world. As Zuko's pain as Ares as she could feel his pain of him getting torn from the insides out. As so she leaves Overhaul and runs right up to Zuko and hugs him. Okay, as because she never had this experience of, or she had experience with Overhaul experimenting on her, but she never seen someone with so much power getting torn from the insides out before. And so when Overhaul holds like, this is the power, or of all the powers combined into one, or combining, is tearing him to shreds. As when Mirio heard, wait, so you're saying this kid is the most powerfulest, dangerous person in the entire world? Yeah. That mask that you're holding, that you ripped off of Zuko's face, or his face, was keeping him balanced from, but you decided to take it off of him. And how would I know that? As Razorhead and Dragon, so basically Eraserhead came down with Cernides and okay, as everybody says. Yeah. But we can't get close because with so much power that he's generating, it would kill all of us in about 5 minutes. As everybody's like, all the way around the globe, we need to figure this out. As Ares was like trying to figure out how can she save her friend from getting torn, her as what's going on? As she doesn't even know what's going on. The wind, no, or should I say, Zuko is having a maximal overload. As when Zumi heard the Quarkless? Wait, no. And she remembers the doctor's warning. Warning of, you better be kind to him. As Zumi, his eyes had, like, basically she had tears coming down her face. And, yeah. Well, Todoroki, Bakugo, Ochako was, like, looking as they don't know what she was thinking. But she says, as she's blaming herself for her thing, not being careful with her own brother. As so Ochako runs up and she says, are you doing okay? Yeah, it's a lot for me. Really? Because you know why my brother didn't have a quirk? Why? Is because he has powers. And I was being too reckless with as we were being too reckless with him. And so they all agree that they need to. So Ares was basically was unaffected. So basically she gets a mask and as Zuko's is painful as he sees how much pain he's going through, as she runs up to him and straight up puts a mask back on and hugs him as the powers went back to normal. As he gets up, he was holding Ares, or he was hugging Ares, and basically he got up because how much pain he went through. As Ares tries to help him as Overhaul says to Muriel, yeah, I should have known that he's the most dangerous, powerfulest one. He's the only one. As yeah. So, he almost caused the entire planet to go, or he almost caused the entire life of the planet, basically the entire world, in shambles. But because Ares got it in time before, as Zuko, had so much power. So, yeah, he had so much power that even. And Zumi flew down and, like, she saw her brother, her other, and so she basically runs up to him after Ares that was done hugging him, and they he, they all apologize to him about calling him quirkless, as or worthless, should I say, not quirkless? Yeah, and so he almost caused the entire world to, like, bleep out of existence. Yeah. So, as he tries to, like. So, he actually does get hugged by his own sister. Because at the beginning, she was mad at him for, like, being quirkless. But then when they realized that her brother had power instead of a quirk, she was glad. And so, yeah. She went from being like, oh, I don't like ya, to now, yeah. So, Ares and Zuko went to the hospital so that because his powers are so powerful that even when, like, because, yeah. So in order to save his life, they have to neutralize some of those powers, or have. But during the time skip before, Zuko actually created a machine after in secret so that no one even knew. So everybody's trying to figure it out. But Zuko actually created a machine that combines his powers together to create the abilities. So, yeah. So Zuko ends up basically disappears before as the. So he came back to where Overhaul's master's house was, and he went into the secret part of the basement, and yeah, well, he finds it and he activates it as the beam of light shoots down right at his chest as his power, all of his powers, like, fused into his own soul. So basically his own soul is his weakness. Yeah, well, or actually, he's stronger than anything, as he's now in control. So he takes off a mask as he's still as he talks. And he only hears his own voice, not multiple voices like he was before. So, yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. I had to eat candy and nature called, so nature called. So I couldn't hold it in. Or couldn't, yeah. So let's continue. So everyone was looking around for him. But then they see he was as everyone like worried that someone stole him. But before they, so the students were dismissed to find him. But before they even start looking around, guess who showed up at their front door? Zuko Midoriya himself. Hey guys, sorry. Hey. Right? As they're like, Zuko, we were worried that, right? Yeah, I'm okay. As he tells them that when I was, or should I say, when I was unstable, I actually created a machine that allows me to have evolved into or having abilities. Because in this world, having abilities is now just created, so that's a higher up. So, yeah. So when everybody heard that Zuko has now abilities, that makes him, because it used to be quirkless, quirked, powers, now abilities. So now abilities could own, or the, should I say, ability users can now use, or now are like rich. Basically, that's rich. Like basically, they could own planets, and it's, or not even planets, own the entire galaxies if, yeah. Well, Zuko could own 2,000 galaxies in a row. And you know how much that would have cost to have all of that galaxy stuff? Well, it's not cheap, but it sure is super expensive. So yeah. So Zuko could own that much. And so when yeah, so the he wasn't in trouble because Overhaul was trying to use him as a tool. But then so Ochako actually, let me explain this to you. Ochako in this what if, like, let's say after the Quark Doctor, got picked on, or he got picked on by a lot of his friends. Ochako was, even, some of them pull pranks on him. Ochako told Bakugo that let's pull a prank on our quirkless friend. That was before they found out that Zuko has the abilities. And so when Zuko heard, so when they heard that Zuko has now abilities, they were like, gosh dang. And so, yeah. So they went from being like, yay, let's be friends and all that stuff to like, heck no, then back to way they were. But Ochako finally confessed her true feelings to Zuko. Sorry. Yeah. To Zuko, and tells him that how she really feels about him. And when they were alone, she actually told him that because it's been like long time, so when she told Zuko that remember back then, like how I was like them and to go for Baku. Yeah, I still remember that. Because you thought I was quirkless. Yeah, but as she says, but that was actually a prank. So like basically I pranked you, or so Bakugo was in it too. So he helped me prank you. So and so she apologized for that, as he doesn't get it. But then she walks right up to him and kissed him right on the lips. And says, that's in the past. Don't worry. But our future will be bright. Thing. And all that stuff. So, yeah. If you guys want to see, like, their kids thing, just create, like, basically drawings of their kids. Because in the near future, they got married and had 2 kids. And they both have, similar to their father before. Like, with their quirks. So that's between. So they're between. So Zuko is still the top. So when. And so their kids were between powers and quirks category. So when he says, they have powers. As Todoroki was like, or actually, he knew that it was a prank and like, and he didn't really care if people was being super mean to him. He's just like, whatever. So when Todoroki and Momo got married, they had kids, and yeah, when Todoroki was with Zuko at the time, he sees, or actually, he saw Zuko's kids, and they could. What is your thoughts about them? Well, I could sense that in their bodies is similar to what I was before. Not quirkless, but the as he tells Todoroki, but before I had powers. Yeah, but that machine that you created, yeah. Are you gonna fuse their powers into their bodies like how you did it to yourself? Yeah. When that time comes. So yeah. So then Aries, at this point, Aries is a teenager. Like, she went from basically this young girl to being a teenager during the time skip to the future. And she actually had a huge crush on Coda, the water boy, should I say, or water kid. And yeah. So, but she's still friends with Zuko because, yeah, she sees him as her favorite idol slash friend. Basically, the. So, and in the near future thing that we're talking about, Zuko actually became a pro hero instantly. Because the government looks at Zuko and says, Zuko, how do you feel about being a pro hero? That's always been my dream. Him. Since at the very beginning. And Zuko says, when I was just a kid. Yeah. So then yeah. So Inko actually, sorry I clicked on Aries, but yeah. So Inko actually, when she heard that Zuko was, or actually, when she heard that Zuko was the most powerfulest person, she immediately went from being like, she actually did care about him, but it was too much. And, but when she heard that he is now the top person, like very tippity top person, everybody was like, did a whole 180, like turning their heads looking right at him. And so Inko ended up so yeah. Now so Inko ends up being, oh, you know how Inko is. She actually, well, yeah. She loves Zuko, but yeah, she could not believe that her son was the most powerfulest person in the universe and the most richest person. And they just like, and everybody tells Zumi that you need to be like your brother. And as everybody's like, huh. As she's like annoyed by like people comparing her with her brother. But then you just calm down. She is my little sister anyway, so as he just gives her a hug and gives her confidence. Okay? And so everybody agrees. Yeah. So, yeah. And if you guys want me to do like stuff like more of these what ifs, let me know in the comments below. I already have one already gonna be prepared. But after this video gets uploaded, then I'll make a custom card review. Because I haven't done that custom card review for a while. I already picked the archetype that I picked. But it's gonna be out of this world. Peace.